真水饮用天然山泉水，江苏现代照明集团有限公司，江苏天目云露茶叶有限公司，江苏卓健医疗用品有限公司，江苏交通网络网首创举办。接下来我们看到现场已经所有的选手全部就位，稍后我们的专业台文化频道将同步直播我们的赛事，我们会跟大屏幕现场一起同步对战。这场比赛，请大家通过我们的现场大屏幕修改，稍后我们现场比赛。您现在即将看到的是女子7连组10公里竞速赛。
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 kilometers race for women under 20 will start shortly.
稍后我们来一一介绍一下，尤其是站在第一排出发的一些重点的女子选手。
Silver medalist of World Under 18 Championships in 5,000 meters race walk from Turkey, Maria Batman.
来认识一下2017年世界及欧洲 U18的场地10000米的竞走冠军。今年这个赛季4场不败，来自土耳其摩耶姆贝克梅兹。
5,000 meters race walk World Under 18 champion from Ecuador, Glenna Molimon.
2017年世界 U18的场地5000米竞走冠军来自厄瓜多尔兰德莫里琼。
Silver medalist of IAAF World Race Walking Team Championship 2016 from China, Ma Li.
2017年全国运动会女子青年10公里的冠军来自中国陕西的女娃马丽。
From Japan with a personal best of 45.42, Ronaldo Fuji.
个人最好成绩45秒42，来自日本99年出生的选手藤井爱子。
National champion for 10,000 meters race walk from Australia, Casey Hayward.
今年进步非常快，2018年3创对来自澳大利亚凯利海德。
And American Under 20 champion for 10,000 meters race walk from Mexico, Alina Rosales.
2017年泛美运动会U20场地10000米的竞走冠军来自墨西哥阿莱格纳冈萨雷斯。
Silver medalist of long-term Chinese race walking Grand Prix from China, Li Wenxiu.
来认识一下2018年全国大奖赛黄山站竞走冠军，00年出生李文秀。
From Costa Rica with a personal best of 47.05, Maria Vargas.
来自哥斯达黎加的00后选手诺伊利亚瓦卡斯。因为共需要在场上完成5圈的距离，1圈2公里，10趟1公里。
Final moments before they're called onto their marks.
On your marks.
Away they go in the junior women's 10 kilometres walk on this second and final day of the IAAF World Racewalking Team Championships. The published start list, 42 entrants from 21 countries. This is the 28th edition of these World Championships. Started back in 1961. It was known as the Lugano Trophy. hosted in Switzerland. Then had 2 events in Italy. And it has grown in size from 24 athletes involved in that first event in 1961 through to nearly 400 from 45 nations who are here in China this weekend. Katie Hayward of Australia among the early front runners as they reach the first loop in this flat 2-kilometre course. It's a perfect course for race walkers who know it well. It's been a popular course on the World Challenge Tour. It's the second time as well that Taicang has hosted this particular event. Hayward's achievements certainly very strong. 6th in the Australian 10,000 metres this year, following up a dramatic victory as a 17-year-old in 2017. Personal best mark is 45.57. That's a pace that the Chinese athletes in the field can better by around a minute. So it'll be interesting to see how the competition pans out. Statistically, may drop back down the field, but this is all on the race, on the day, and the kind of tactics that are employed. Who knows how this will pan out. Look right down through the list. Lauren Harris of the United States. Already in the early stages, you can see 3 very specific groupings, which is something we haven't seen in any of the races at such an early point. 10 kilometres is 5 laps of this course. And having done their first turn, they move down the road past us in our commentary position, where we're situated just above the finish line, to the right of the screen at the moment, in front of the museum. They head down the Shanghai Road to Lujiang Street. Philippa Hughes of Australia is among that group in the middle there, the chasing pack at this stage, this very early stage of the race. For those of you new to race walking, just a reminder of exactly how the regulations work. The principal rule that all these walkers have to stick to, 2 things in particular, is maintaining contact with the ground at all times. That's referred to as the contact part of the rule. And the walker's knee must straighten. That's the knee part of the rule, when the foot hits the ground. And it must stay straightened until the leg passes under the body. Now, to enforce that, there are 8 judges from 8 different nations. They are spread around the course, and they are watching. There's one of them we've just seen there brandishing a yellow paddle. Now, a yellow paddle is a warning that a race walker is not abiding by those 2 key principles, and they are being watched carefully for their technique. However, it doesn't carry any real sanction. It's purely a warning. The race walker needs to make sure their technique is right. Should they be found to be in full breach of a rule, then a red card will be issued. And in this event, we have the innovative pit lane. So there are 3 red cards before you are put into the pit lane. And in a 10-kilometre race, you would spend 1 minute, a 1-minute time penalty effectively, in the pit lane. If you come out and then receive a 4th red card, that is a disqualification. The 8 judges are supervised by the chief judge here this week, here Pearse O'Callaghan of Ireland as we watch the leading group, which contains at the moment 4 Chinese athletes, but is led by Katie Hayward of Australia. I've come round in front of the Wanda shopping mall. Huge cinema and shopping complex here in the heart of Taicang. And already that front pack has broken away from a chasing group of 4, and the field pretty spread in one of the shorter race walk disciplines. Alongside Hayward at the front, the white vest of Vargas, and Noelia Vargas, we highlighted just before the race began. The 18-year-old came second in the big Monterey event this year. It was over 10K at junior level, under 20s. She's also the Central American junior champion. The chasing pack includes Mariluz Andia of Peru. She's the Peruvian junior champion, wearing 590. Moving across to pick up some refreshment already. See the puddles there on the road. We've had some overnight rain. It's dry at the moment, and the temperature set to rise from 20 Celsius up into potentially the mid-20s. It's more the humidity that these competitors will feel today. Wenchu Li, still only 17, but a sub-45-minute performer. Came second in the big Huangshan Junior 10K this year. All of China's top walkers were involved in that event. Her compatriot alongside her, Li Ma, involved in a dramatic finish to this event last time in Rome. While missing out on delivering what would have been classed as a surprise victory when she was a relative newcomer, youngest in the field 2 years ago. She was beaten by just 6,000ths of a second. First time any race at any World Cup event like this, or World Race Walking Championships event, has seen the leading race walkers finish with the same time. 45 minutes 25 seconds was the winning time 2 years ago. End of the first lap. 4 laps to go, 2 kilometers completed in this 10K race walk for women. And leading them through that first lap, the Australian Katie Hayward. An 11-second gap to a chasing group. And the front walkers already stretching away. And many of those who we expected to be amongst that group are there. Hayward, Vargas, and further down the field, a very stretched field now. Forty walkers who went off together, 42 to be exact. Spread right down the Shanghai road now, and a leading pack there, which is separated into 10, so it's a quarter of the field at the front. They went through the first 2 kilometers, the first lap of this course, in 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Vargas listed as the leader as they crossed the line for the first time. It's not just an individual event, of course, when you look at the name of this championship, so World Race Walking Team Championships. And the points scoring system in the under-20 events means that the first 2 finishers will score for each nation. The lowest aggregate points will win. If there was to be a tie, which we did have in one race yesterday, it's resolved in favour of the team whose last scoring member finished closest to first place. Another yellow paddle comes out. Looking down through the field at the moment, though, the judges not being kept too busy with red cards. No red cards have been issued yet for either the loss of contact or a non-straightened knee. I mentioned Meryem Bekmez, the Turk, at the start, with the 2018 Balkan Junior Champion, Ais Tekdal, is also in that front group, right alongside her fellow countrywoman, who's won 4 races already, and past the big screen, took home a silver medal in what was a memorable IAAF World Under-18 Championships in Nairobi last year, in Kasarani. Played out in front of some huge crowds inside the stadium there, with in excess of 60,000 watching on. Some of the sessions towards the end of the week. Final staging of that under-18 global event. There are the 2 Turks. They're behind an Ecuadorian, Glenda Morhon. And she was the winner in Kasarani over 5,000 metres. How will she fare with double that distance? The Colombian Talaka just losing a little bit of touch with that group, but you can see there are now 3 Chinese athletes in the front pack. Wengchu Li, Li Ma, Wei Wei Yang. Yang we haven't mentioned so far, but in that Huangshen junior event this year, finished 3rd. Has a personal best over 5 kilometers of 22 minutes and 56 seconds. Still only 18 years of age. Katie Hayward's continued her remarkable success as a youngster. She already has 3 major victories over the 10 kilometers event in 2018. It's over 10,000 meters, junior 10Ks as well, winning in Adelaide over 10K course. The Australian Junior 10,000. Continuing a fine tradition of Australian race walking. Australia picked up 2 bronze medals yesterday. And Hayward among the front walkers this Sunday morning. Peruvian Andia in that chasing group, just stretching away a little from Kader Dost of Turkey. 2 Turks in the front pack, Dost a little further back. Round again in front of the shopping mall. 15.5 minutes completed in the race. Still the front walkers sticking together as a pack. They dispersed early on across the field. The yellow paddle comes out there for Dost. At the 3-kilometer mark, China as a team in possession of the gold medal. Turkey second. Remember, the first 2 finishers for each nation are the scorers. Around a third of the course complete now. No rain falling. See, it's drying out a little on the roadway. And the yellow paddles coming out there from the judges. Look at the participating teams. Chinese Taipei in there. So Guatemala, who had a medal yesterday. Japan hoping for a strong day, particularly in the next race, which will be the men's 20 kilometres walk. That's to come a little later on. It gets underway in just under an hour's time. United States, Ukraine with great tradition in race walking as well. Word of encouragement from the spectators on a Sunday morning. Cheering on the competitors here in this port city north of Shanghai, around 90 minutes from Shanghai Pudong Airport. The Suzhou district, around 4.5 hours south of Beijing by train. An example of a yellow card being issued there, a yellow paddle. Just a warning, remember. And it was Dost, the Turk, warned by one of the judges. In this Suzhou district, Taicang, known as an outstanding city of sport, it's hosted the International Women's Basketball Championships. It's the second time that the IAAF race walking championships have been staged here. 4 years ago, this city welcomed the best in the world, and they made such a good job of it. The IAAF has returned this year for this harbour city, known as the Wharf of 6 States. The 4-kilometre mark. 3 laps to go in the 10-kilometre race walk for the under-20 women. Bekmez of Turkey the leader, Morhan in second, Taicang third, the Australian Katie Hayward in 4th place. That order changing all the time. Another yellow paddle is issued there. And will we see a move from the Chinese trio? They're all at the front of that pack now, including Li Ma, silver medalist 2 years ago. 18 years of age now as a 16-year-old, relative unknown a couple of years ago. It certainly took Rome by storm. There she is, Li Ma. Alongside her, Wenqiu Li in the white cap. Eleven walkers now in the front pack. And the 2 Turks at the forefront as well. Miriam Bekmez has had a really good year. She's already won over 5,000 metres indoors in Istanbul, also in Minsk, host nation. The hosts of the next World Race Walking Championships. Turkey in possession of the gold medal team position at this early stage as they approach the halfway mark. Bekmez and Morhan, the front walkers. Taicang in there as well, and the 3 Chinese athletes, a little taller than the others. Marie-Louise Andia, the lone chaser at the moment. The gap was only a couple of seconds at 4 kilometres. That's been stretched now, though, as she tries to keep pace with that leading group. Hayward has just dropped off slightly. Picture of concentration on the young Australian's face. The conditions can best be described as muggy this morning. Reminder, the role of the chief judge in these races. The 8 judges are spread all the way around the circuit. The chief judge, though, Pierce O'Callaghan of Ireland, has a key role, potentially at the end of the race, because he possesses the power, regardless of the cards, to actually disqualify outright a competitor in the last 100 metres of a race if they believe they're in breach of the rules. 1 or 2 red cards now appearing across the walkers. Tekdal of Turkey has 1 for a loss of contact. Fellow Turk Dost has 1 as well. Further back down the field, the Guatemalan Palacios has got 2, as we look at Marie-Louise Andia. Chamosa of Spain has also been red carded. Remember, 3 red cards puts you into the pit lane for a 1 minute time penalty. Halfway through this 10-kilometre race, Hayward receives a yellow warning paddle. She's still in the front group with Bekmez Morhon. Wenchu Lee also there. 5 kilometres completed. They went through 5 kilometres in 23 minutes. That puts them on course for around a 46-minute race. The current world under-20 record is 41 minutes and 57 seconds. That's held by Hong Miao Gao of China, set back in 1993. Years ago. Lasting record. World leading mark this year, 43.05. And the best mark in championship history was set 10 years ago, 42 minutes and 44 seconds. So that front pack now just starting to show signs of breaking. Bekmez at the front for Turkey. Wenchu Lee just to her left. Morhon, the shorter, more compact figure, striding along to Bekmez's right-hand side. The Australian Katie Hayward staying with that group. Lee Ma in there as well. And Nanako Fuji of Japan, winner of the Tokyo 5-kilometre event, and also the New South Wales Junior 5,000 metres this year. On a big event in Wajima as well, Junior 10,000. 18 years of age. That's Talaka of Colombia, getting some refreshment. There you get a really good idea of both contact and keeping the knees straight, maintaining contact at all times, straightening that leg. If you don't do that, remember, these athletes will be, certainly if not yellow paddled, they will receive red cards. The leading group, Taicang, who's now back in 11th on a red card. But this is a front seven now, showing signs of moving away from the rest. So the third of the Chinese front walkers has just broken off at the back. And that leaves Wenqiu Li and Li Ma. Vargas and Talaka together now, chasing. You'll see the posting board on the right-hand side. That's sometimes known as the DQ board as well. And then just Bekmez glancing up at it there from under the sunglasses, taking a check. Two laps to go in the women's 10 kilometers race walk. 27 minutes, 37 seconds they cross the line in. Seven walkers now, stretching away from the rest of the field. Started with 42 entrants from 21 countries. Bekmez of Turkey led them through, and that was 4 minutes and 29 seconds for the last 1,000 kilometers. They're averaging 4:36 at the moment. So that's a pretty good pace. World's best mark this year, 43.05. Bekmez of Turkey, the leader. Yellow card comes out there, yellow paddle. So they're watching that front group very carefully. Wenqiu Li alongside Bekmez and Morhon. A front three there, 4 further walkers behind. And they stretch all the way down the Shanghai Road. Nice wide turning points, one of the features of this course. A totally flat course as well. One of the judges said to me yesterday, you could actually eat your dinner off it. It's so flat, in great condition. Fitting for the best performers from around the world. Slight grimace on the face now of Katie Hayward of Australia. At 6 kilometers, China in possession of team gold, with Turkey in second and Ecuador third. The Australians fourth. Rebecca Henderson and Philippa Hughes, the other two Australians, further back down the field, with Hayward in that leading group at the moment. Elena Gonzalez of Mexico is wearing 5.86, the Central American junior record holder over the distance of 10 kilometers and indeed 20. And she's at the back of that leading group at the moment, with Bekmez striding along purposefully, glancing up at the big screens, also looking up. Shortly she'll come round and be able to take a look at the posting board. Morhon looking up there as well, and Morhon noticing she has a red card now. Ecuadorian on 1 red. Further back down the field, Hughes of Australia on 2 reds. Also a Lithuanian athlete is. There's a yellow paddle. That indicated a little wave as well from Lee Ma. Thank you very much, she said to the judge there. Morhon, 4:29 for the last kilometre. Bagmez breaking across and looking for refreshment. This race continues, the bottles and the drinks go flying. Lima just at the back of that leading group at the moment. Is she finding the pace hard? She's just tactically waiting for her moment. 3 kilometers to go. Bekmez of Turkey's been a winner 4 times this year. Is she going to do so again? Lima just trailing slightly off the back of that group. Just some evidence that Ma is struggling now to keep up with them. Wenchu Li still in that leading group. They reach for the water bottles again. See the cups go flying, some of them knocking into feet along the way. Impediments in the road which the officials will try and clear quickly, but this little front group of 7 is starting to break apart a little now, and it's a question of who can go. Gonzalez has moved up to take the lead. Morhon, Bekmez and Fuji of Japan all in the leading group. Katie Hayward of Australia fighting very hard to hang on, but Lima is now drifting away. And so indeed is Wenchu Li. So both of the Chinese athletes are being left by the front 4 now of Gonzalez, Bekmez, Fuji, Morhon. Hayward is effectively the little bit of string binding these 3 groups together now in 5th place, with the 2 Chinese performers, Li and Ma, just finding the pace too difficult. 7 kilometers, 32 minutes and 7 seconds. Hayward continuing to show the odd grimace. They'll find those sprays that are situated on the side of the course very, very useful on a muggy, humid morning here. Lima fighting hard to stay in contention. Silver medalist in Rome. That day she clocked 45 minutes, 25 seconds. They're averaging, the leading group at the moment, 4:35 per kilometre. But now it's Fuji. And we have our first disqualification. Palacios of Guatemala has received 4 red cards after spending time in the pit lane. A further red sees our first disqualification. From the right then, Morhon, Bekmez, Gonzalez, Fuji now striding for the front. The Japanese tipped to do very well in the next event, the men's 20-kilometre walk, but they have one of the leading group in the under-20 10K at the moment. Yellow paddle indicated as Race of Portugal calls it a day. She will be a non-finisher. Just found the going too much today, maybe an injury. And now it's 3 at the front. Bekmez is starting to struggle with this pace, which is being driven on by Morhon, Fuji and Gonzalez. So the front 3 now, pulling them apart. Katie Hayward is trying to stay in touch. Bekmez, the Turk, who really knows nothing other than winning things this year, well, she's just starting to trail back. There's the bell. 1 lap to go. 2 kilometers left in this women's 10K race walk. Three at the front take the bell, led by Morhon, followed by Fuji, and then Gonzalez of Mexico. And Morhon and Fuji now asking questions of Gonzalez, and she's dropping off, so now we're down to 2. Really is interesting the way this group of 7 have dispersed and been broken apart, but have Fuji and Morhon gone too fast? They're on their last lap, the last kilometre from Fuji, 4:26. Really picking up the pace from an average of 4:34. On course for around a 44-minute timing, but of course she could get quicker yet. Gonzalez trying to keep the 2 leaders in her sights as they round that loop at the far end of the course again. Katie Hayward looks realistically to be the only other medal contender now. She's in 4th place. The 2 Chinese, Wenchu Li and Li Ma, look to have been beaten by the rapid pace put down by Fuji, and also Morhon. Morhon, though, looking tired now. Fuji driving on. Four race victories for Nanako Fuji already in 2018. She will be 19 in the next few days. Her season's best mark, 45 minutes, 42 seconds. Gonzalez also went quickly. The last kilometre for her, 4:26, as she tries to keep pace with them. But that's a really good indication from the spider camera at the top, as China continue to hold the gold medal position, only just ahead of Ecuador after 8 kilometres. But 2 at the front. The gap was 5 seconds back to Hayward at the bell. But Morhon and Fuji in a battle for gold at the moment. And behind them, Gonzalez and Hayward coming together now in a battle for the remaining position on the podium, and Hayward moving up onto the shoulder of the Mexican Gonzalez and now going past her. And can Hayward reel in the front pair? Have that front pair gone too fast as well? Are these two in 3rd and 4th closing that gap? It looks like they could be now. Morhon and Fuji at the front, Gonzalez and Hayward following. Morhon the leader at the moment. Fuji, who set that pace with a really fast last split of 4:26. Hayward still digging deep. 1 kilometre to go. 40 minutes and 53 seconds through 9 kilometres. On pace for around a 44-minute race. And Morhon pushing again. And Hayward has picked up a third red card. Hayward in fourth has picked up a third red card, the Australian. She's going to be taken into the pit, and that will end her medal hopes here on this Sunday morning. She may not know it yet, but the pit lane awaits for Katie Hayward. A third red card for her. 2 red cards at the moment for Fuji as well. So she's in danger. So Gonzalez now has got bronze in her sights because she hasn't received any sanctions yet. But Hayward, according to the scoring system, is on 3. But the story at the front, Morhon and Fuji in the battle, in the closing stages for gold. Two years ago in Rome, it was a dead heat, 45 minutes 25. They're on pace to be a little quicker potentially than that today. Still Morhon leads, still Katie Hayward of Australia is back in third place. Fuji and Gonzalez competing away as well. So Fuji has really seen her pace drop, and Gonzalez now has moved up into second place. Hayward, remember, has a pit to follow, a pit lane stop that will cost her time. Gonzalez and Fuji now cast in the role of chasers, but Gonzalez has moved away. She's got Morhon ahead of her. Morhon continuing to lead. Fuji now dropping back into the bronze medal position. Really strong finish this from Gonzalez. Morhon in her sights. It was a tight finish in Rome 2 years ago. It could be again. Fuji paying the price for the pace that she went at. Hayward will be pulled into the pit lane shortly. Morhon, though, has got Gonzalez getting ever closer to her. The leader, the Ecuadorian, but the Mexican right behind her now and closing with every step. This is on track to be the closest finish of the weekend so far as Gonzalez strides past Morhon. Morhon, has she got anything to respond with? Gonzalez has produced a brilliant last lap here. The Central American junior record holder. The two of them competing for that gold medal spot. And Gonzalez driving forward towards the line. Morhon's face just showing the agony because she can see that Gonzalez is striding away. Hayward has been disqualified. Gonzalez is heading for the line. Morhon is not going to get her. It's going to be another great moment for Mexico. And Gonzalez takes the gold. 45.08 ahead of Morhon of Ecuador. A brilliant last lap. And Gonzalez outpaces Morhon with a new record mark as well. And Fuji comes through absolutely shattered to take the bronze medal, 20 seconds behind the winner Gonzalez, with Hayward picking up a fourth red and disqualified in the final stages. But Gonzalez is the champion in this junior 10K. And Morhon will drape herself in the Ecuadorian flag, a proud silver. And 45 minutes, 13 seconds. An area record for Alinea Gonzalez in 45.08. Some way outside the fastest times of the year, but a warm, muggy morning in Taicang. And there is the silver medalist from Rome 2 years ago, Ma and Lima. Beaten back down the places this time. Bekmez came in 5th. 4th for China's Wenqiu Li. The Chinese finishing 4th and 6th respectively. Fuji's finish of 45.29, a personal best mark for her, despite 2 red cards along the way. Tekdal will come in to complete the top 10 finishers now. It's been a good year for her, Balkan junior silver medalist. Crossing the line inside the top 10 at these IAAF World Race Walking Team Championships here in Taicang. Another Ecuadorian, Torres, to come in 2nd. Don't forget, team placing still to be decided here, and with Morhon having picked up 2 points, the next Ecuadorian is Torres, and an 11th place finish for her, so 13 points for Ecuador. China with 4th and 6th though, with 10 points, in possession of the gold medal for teams. More success on the podium for them. They lead the medal table after the first day, 9 medals in total. And a very dispersed field will continue to come in now. The Australians had an eventful time. Rebecca Henderson further back down the field. Just 16 years of age. She saw Katie Hayward, or she won't have seen, but she may well have noticed on the posting board that Katie Hayward was disqualified in the very latter stages of the race. It would appear that Hayward, who was due to be stopped and put into the pit lane, actually received a 4th red card before she even got to the point of having to wait in the pit lane. Yagi of Japan. A 19-year-old coming in, and there's the other Australian, Philippa, who's strong contingent here from Spain. 13 women, 17 men, a 30-strong team. Yagi across the line for Japan. But going back to the eventual winner, Alinea Gonzalez, for much of the middle third of the race, it looked like she was going to be involved in a tussle for bronze, but she stepped on it with a last lap of 4 minutes and 9 seconds. She made up 11 seconds on Morhon. Oh, and you can see Garcia The strain on the Spaniard who's just crossed the line, all a little too much for her. She'll be attended to straight away by our team of officials who are on hand, medical teams here to help any walker who is in discomfort at the end. They put so much into this. It's Marina Peña, in fact, who's crossed the line and then had absolutely nothing more to give. Could not manage another step. Just shows what these race walkers put themselves through. As Richter of Germany as well is offered an opportunity to take a seat just barely a metre after they cross the line. It's incredible how hard they push themselves. As they continue to just hit that wall almost as they cross the line. Farina comes in there, Ali as well of France. It can be absolutely brutal. 45.08 was the winning time, remember? And that marked by a brilliant last lap from Gonzalez. Still, they come across the line. Remember, 42 on the start list. But a weekend of double success for the Mexicans after Maria Guadalupe Gonzalez's victory in the women's 20-kilometer race yesterday. Success this morning for Elena Gonzalez. We're 8.5 minutes now since the first athlete crossed the line, and still walkers coming in. La Fresne of France, the latest. 32nd place will go to her. Next up is Wei Chao Wu, Chinese Taipei. Athletes guided the finish through into the mixed media zone, where those who are in good enough condition can give interviews straight away. Not all of them, of course, will be up to that task of facing the media at this stage. 33 finishes. 3 disqualifications so far. Palacios, Dost, and the most dramatic of them, Katie Hayward of Australia, the 2017 10,000 metre Australian race walking champion. Alina Kach of Ukraine will be the next to cross the line. And further back down the field, two Americans, Kayla Torres and Kayla Allen. There's Torres. 19-year-old who finished 5th in the US World Trials. Still has some distance to navigate. And she's in. Torres now, and over the line. Some 11 minutes after the first walker crossed the line to glory. Good to see a thumbs up as well for the TV cameras. Kayla Allen shouldn't be too far behind the fellow American. Clock ticks on relentlessly, but we saw a really good last lap. Fuji had pushed it really hard between kilometers 7 to 9. Just couldn't keep up then though, with a late charge and the 4:09 last 1,000 from Elena Gonzalez. They went through 5 kilometers in 23:09, and they picked up the pace to go 21:59 for the second 5K. Quite a gap now between the last group of finishers. Kayla Torres ranked 36th. Kayla Allen is the next walker, just coming into view now on the home straight. There she is. Finished 3rd in the US World Trials. Just turned 19 years of age. Allen stretches for home. And still the crowd supportive of the back markers. And she comes in 59:34.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our partners who have helped to stage 2018 IAAF World Race Walking Team Championships. Our official IAAF partners, I6 and Circle, and suppliers, Mondo. Public institutions, Chinese Athletic Association, Shanghai Surrounding Highland for Scientific Innovation Industries, surrounding modern logistics and trade days, Board of the North Garden City, others Silage and Corporation. National partners, choosing cultural communication.
59:35 confirmed time for Kayla Allen. The two Americans finishing together in 36th and 37th place. And with 2 disqualifications in Hayward and Dost and Palacios going earlier on, here's confirmation of the result for the 10K race walk for women. The gold medal and victory for Mexico's Elena Gonzalez in a new area record time. Glenda Morhon takes silver for Ecuador and Fuji of Japan in 3rd. Run down through the full list there. Lauren Harris, the leading American, in 22nd. A personal best for Kazyan of Ukraine and a top 30 finish. Torres and Allen of America bring them home. And 5 walkers didn't complete the race. 2 didn't finish, 3 were disqualified. And it's China, not surprisingly, who take the gold after 4th and 6th. 10 points. Ecuador with the silver. Turkey take 3rd. And will be on the podium with a bronze. Five races complete. Just one more to follow here in Taicang. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Thrilling race, a thrilling last kilometre or so from Elena Gonzalez. Mexico celebrate another gold at these World Racewalking Team Championships. One more race to come. And a big field is ready to take on the men's 20K walk. Almost 100 entrants from 39 countries. Heading down towards the line with 5 minutes to go before the finale. What a sight that is as they march down towards the start line in Taicang. Huge field, plenty of key men to pick out here. Got a glimpse of Ida Aravallo, the Colombian who is the world champion from London last year. Some of the leading contenders brought towards the front, while the others go through their final stages of preparation. It's a 10:10 local time start here for a race that will take just under 80 minutes, certainly for the front walkers to contend. Three minutes now. The clock ticks ever closer to the start of this men's 20-kilometer race walk. We've got about 8 leading contenders to pick out for you before the start.
2015 World Champion from Spain, Miguel Angel Lopez.
There's Miguel Angel Lopez, former world champion.
Silver medalist from Huangshan Chinese Race Walking Grand Prix from China, Gao Yingchao.
Now, Yichao Gao, Chinese youth champion of 2015, 20 years of age.
2017 World Champion from Colombia, Ida Alvarado.
And the big name, world champion, Ida Alvarado of Colombia. A salute from him for the cameras. He's alongside his great friend, the new Commonwealth Games champion, Dane Bird Smith of Australia. Japan, Aiki Takahashi. 8th on the world all-time list for him. Wang Kawa. 6th in the World Youths last year, or a few years back now, in fact. Tom Bosworth of Great Britain, leading a resurgence in race walking. 6th at the Rio Olympics. Yamanishi of Japan. Former world under-18 champion. Just some of the names to look out for. Inside a minute to go now.
比赛倒计时1分钟，就像拳台上的第一回合的牌子一样，出现在这儿，一回决胜负，看谁能率先一本对手。
Carvalho, Bird Smith, great friends. They're together on the start line, but this could be a story of the Japanese in this race. They're strongly fancied to do well. Takahashi is the world leader this year and Japanese title holder. Here we go, the final race of the championships in Taicang, the men's 20-kilometer walk, and they're underway. Dry conditions, a light breeze, but the humidity levels higher today than they were when the women took on the 20 kilometers yesterday. .99 entrants from 39 countries registered on the start list. And the pack moves off down to the west on Shanghai Road. They'll approach the Grand Theatre after passing the museum and then make their first loop and come all the way back down and head towards Lujiang Street. Reminder of the point scoring for this race as a senior race. The first 3 finishers score for each team. The lowest aggregate points wins overall. Some signals between the 2 Japanese in the front 3 at the moment as they round that loop, 90 seconds into the race. Leading marks in 2018. Takahashi, who's in this field, 1 hour 17 minutes and 26 seconds. The world record is 1 hour 16 minutes and 36 seconds. But certainly the pace and the performance of Takahashi this year puts him among the front runners, the front walkers. Will be aiming for success here. Naga alongside Yamanishi. Early showing from Valio as well. Wang Kaiwa of China also in the group at the very front at the moment in the white cap. Tom Bosworth of Great Britain settling into a group about a dozen back. So they run walk parallel now under the flags, past the podium, and with the start line on the other side of the road. Heading west now, towards the coast. You see there, very little breeze though, the flags really moving. Refreshment areas all set up. Daisuke Matsunaga with a personal best 1:17.46 in Kobe. Second in the under-20 race at the 2014 World Race Walking Cup in Taicang, so he's got good form over this course. He won the World Under-20 title as well in Eugene, Oregon later that year, and was a bronze medalist in the 2015 World University Games. Plenty of success on the international stage. The 99 walkers now starting to spread a little across the course, and judges busy brandishing paddles. The paddles that are yellow are purely for warnings, remember. Red cards are technical infringements, and 3 of those will land you in the pit lane. And in a 20-kilometer race, that means 2 minutes. Niraj of India, among the early pace setters, the 23-year-old. Former World Youth Champion Yamanishi in the front as well. The performance of the new Commonwealth Games champion, Dane Bird-Smith, closely as well. He came 6th in London. Spoken openly about his mental health battles. press conference here, talking about competition, talking about his joy and success and the celebrations of winning the Commonwealth Games title on the Gold Coast. The full participating list, headed by the Australians, also includes Vasily Mizunov, an authorised neutral athlete competing in this event. Great Britain, alongside Bosworth, have Callum Wilkinson, who made history in Bydgoszcz in 2016. Britain's first race walking world title in decades. This completed by Turkey, Ukraine and the United States of America. Back to Callum Wilkinson, who's somewhere in that big pack at the moment. Since the days of the likes of Don Thompson and Ray Middleton back in the 1960s, that Britain performed well on the world stage to win medals at international events. Wilkinson ended that with gold in Bydgoszcz. Warm morning, as I recall, in Poland. Here we find ourselves north of the South China Sea, south of the capital Beijing, around 90 kilometers from Shanghai. Hagen Koller of Germany has just put himself front of the pack, extending the early advantage by a few meters. The World Youth and European Junior Champion. And just opens up a little distance of around 5 meters on that group. 9 laps to go, and the German Poller takes them through at 2 kilometers as the early leader in this men's 20k walk. It's the climax to these IAAF World Race Walking Team Championships. 99 walkers starting out. German at the front in the early stages. Silver medalist in the Rio Olympics, Cai Zilin of China is among the group just behind. The rules again for those of you new to race walking. The walkers must maintain contact with the ground at all times, and the walker's knee must straighten when the foot hits the ground and stay straightened until the leg passes under the body. You breach those rules, you run the risk of a red card, 3 red cards, and you're in the pit lane, which is a 2-minute time penalty. Red card, you are disqualified from the race. There are only 2 red cards that have been issued so far. One way down the field. And the yellow paddle comes out, that leading group. Still the German leads. 3 Chinese walkers now lining up behind. Cai Zilin, Wen Chaonu, dangerous Japanese remain in that pack. Aravalho is in there as well, the world champion. Pola, though, is the man in possession of the lead at the moment as they pass under the big screen.
11 minutes into the race, we're going to have three race walkers receiving a red card.
Kang Chin of China is one of those to be issued with a red card. He's further down the field. Two Australians passing together. In these muggy conditions, all the walkers very quickly reaching for refreshments early on in this race. It is the German Pola who is stretching the field at the moment, with Cai Zhelin of China just behind him, watching on carefully. Second at the 2016 World Team Championships, then he took a silver at the Rio Olympics. He's 27 years of age now. Celebrated his birthday last month. Very much a quintet of youth and experience, the Chinese grouping in this race. Season's best just over the 1 hour 20 mark for Pola. He has Cai Zhelin for company in these early stages, and also moving up alongside him, Wang Kaihua. There is Cai, who receives a yellow paddle there, a warning on contact. He just sits in now behind Wang Kaihua. But it is Pola, the German, who's made the early pace. Welcoming vapor spray for the walkers on this Sunday morning. So some evidence that the wind is picking up a little bit. Average temperatures around this time of year in this part of China around 21 Celsius. It's around that mark. It's likely to get warmer as the morning goes on, though. We've just passed 20 past 10 local time. Something perhaps unexpected has been the amount of rain over the last couple of days. Average 3 millimeters per day, but heavy showers yesterday. Forecast was actually much worse for today. The spectre of potential thunderstorms. Those haven't materialised so far, and I hope that isn't the case. So through 14.5 minutes in this men's 20-kilometre race walk. Still a really big grouping together. But the German Hagenpol and Cai Zhelin of China have set the early pace. Cai has dropped back, and Wang Kaihua is now alongside the German. It's that pairing who are the front walkers in this last race as they go through past the 3-kilometre mark. They did that at 12:21. The splits so far, Pola has gone through in 4 minutes and 3 seconds in the last kilometre, averaging 4:07 at the moment. So early pace on for around an 80-minute race walk. gap only a second or two from the front pair back to a massed ranks of race walkers behind them. So 20 to 30 walkers really in a congested group behind the leaders. Paul of Germany, coached now by Ronald Weigel. He's a member of the German Federal Police Club, where he's a sergeant. He's decided to control things from the front in these early stages of this race. Has a disqualification under his belt this year in the IAAF at Junior 3000. He was competing despite being 26 years of age. A 5th and a 3rd place finish at the German Championships over this same 20-kilometre mark. Look further down through the field. Silvera of the United States of America. A 5 seconds gap now from the leaders to the chasing group, a huge chasing group in Taicang. Getting Paul and Wang Kaiwa. Great support from the local crowd here. They're great fans of this sport. A big group, including the Commonwealth champion Bird Smith. And the German at the forefront in these early stages. Suggestion we might have some rain starting to fall. Daunting prospect for those two up front if they ever do look at the screen to see the mass ranks of walkers all piling on down the road behind them. This course set across Shanghai Road, absolutely flat. Gap illustrated from our spider cam. Around 5 seconds. German and Chinese walker try and move away from the field, but the big group right behind them will be quite content at the moment to monitor their performance through 4 kilometers in 16 minutes and 28 seconds. And the German Paul, consistent again, 4:07 for his last kilometre. Wang Kaiwa of China, 4:06. And it's that pairing up front at the moment. Rubinho of Italy leads the chasers. Mizunov is where as well. And an early athlete into the pit lane, Singapore's Edmund Sim. 3 red cards already as they now pass the leaders 5 kilometers. So Sim has spent 2 minutes and now lives in fear of disqualification for the rest of the race. And drops way back down the field, of course. by virtue of that time penalty. Bird Smith's name goes through on the graphics there, 7 seconds behind at the moment. The 2016 Olympic 20k bronze medalist, a Commonwealth Games champion on the Gold Coast. The Irish are here, McManaman there. Second in the Irish indoor 5,000, 8th in the Lugano 20,000, 26-year-old this year. Shopping mall away to the left-hand side, the skyscrapers of a city that's still developing, Taicang. It's an historic city here in China, now with a population of here in the outskirts of over 700,000. All this from modest beginnings, once a small village by the sea known as the City of Bridge, sport card game, but now known as an outstanding city of sport in the Shuji province. The very impressive road network was put in. The city lined by rivers. The Sinkai River wraps itself around this city. Bridges to both the east and west of this course. Still the German in front then, Pole. Wong Haiwa in second place. The latest split, the last kilometre, 4 minutes and 2 seconds for the leader, the German. And Kaiwa, 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Confirmation there, that last kilometre from Hagen Paul. Kaiwa just dropping a metre or so off. They receive the acclaim of the spectators, lining the route. It's a 2 kilometre flat, straight course with wide loops at each end to enable the big groups to go round. Remember, this was a really big field, 99 listed on the start list. "17 Spanish men came to China, 2 of them there, including Alvaro Martin, bronze medalist in Rome 2 years ago, and the Spanish 20k champion this year. Number 151, the tall figure, the white cap, and a real illustration there of how the front pair have moved away from the rest. Seven laps to go in the men's 20-kilometre race walk, and still the German Pole is in front. Wong Kaiwa of China, second. The winner of the Hangshen 20-kilometre race this year. Right down through the field, all the way towards the back. Great illustration there of a Yi violation, which draws a warning only for Shaiko. And they're the leader, getting a warning as well, a yellow paddle. Didn't quite catch whether that was for knees or contact, but the kind of thing that can disrupt the rhythm, the concentration, the focus. 7 seconds the lead now from the front pair to a chasing group which is starting to thin out a little. chasing group that includes Great Britain's Tom Bosworth and also Daisuke Matsunaga of Japan. Takahashi's also in that group, the world leader this year, the Japanese walker. He currently moving at a pace of around 4 minutes and 7 seconds per kilometre. The leaders averaging 2 seconds faster than that. Paul of Germany. Wang Kaiwa of China in second. Judge armed with paddle, watching carefully. There's that chasing pack. Two of the Japanese performers in there. Chai Zelin, who briefly was second, has also joined that group. And Alvaro Martin, the bronze medalist, on the podium in Rome. He's at the back now of those chasers. Three full laps have been completed. Little look at the posting board from Matsunaga. Two Spanish walkers side by side as well. Luis Alberto Mezcua alongside Miguel Angel Lopez, the former world champion, second in the Spanish 20k this year, and in the 10,000 meters Spanish universities race. It's Germany in front from China. Two Chinese athletes among the chasers, along with Matsunaga of Japan. Massimo Stano of Italy, the Italian champion this year over 20 kilometers, and a European under-23 bronze medalist in 2013. He's among the leading section of the chasing group, 26-year-old. Confirmation of the cards so far: one disqualification for Edmund Sim of Singapore. Two athletes on two red cards, a smattering of single red cards out there as well. The Belarusian Liakovic is on two. Remember, if you have three, you are forced to go into the pit lane, where you'll spend 2 minutes, receive one more, and it is game over. A disqualification. So they've extended the lead now. Poland, Kaiwa, 10 seconds. Still, Alvaro Martin among the chasers. The red vest, number 151. Half an hour complete in this race. They go round in front of the cinema and shopping mall complex here in Taicang. And a big group still chasing on. Paul has made a very confident start to this race. Received a warning, a yellow paddle on the last lap. Hasn't taken him out of his stride at all, though. Spacewalking, a sport where it is always a search to perfect the technique down on the, watching the straightened legs, maintaining contact with the ground at all times. The umbrella's up around the course. The rain is now falling quite heavily. Forecast proving accurate. So just something else to contend with. 7 kilometers complete in 28 minutes and 37 seconds. And they got a little quicker on that last kilometer, 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Sixth in the World Youths, over 10,000 meters in 2011, the 24-year-old Wang Kawa. But a winner over 20 kilometers this year in Huangshan. He's from the Guangdong province, coached by Sandro De Milano. Hot work, and sometimes too much water can get in the way. The conditions have changed quite considerably since the start. The rain really pouring down now. For the front pair, side by side, looking content. The chasing group making their way through what might soon become a rather damp and wet and puddled route down the Shanghai Road. There's the posting board on the right. Information of athletes with red cards. And there has been another disqualification that I can tell you our computers are informing. It's happened in the last minute or so. And it's Marek Adamovich of Canada, who's received 4 reds and is out of the race. He joins Edmund Soon of Singapore. Confirmation as well of 2 listed athletes who didn't start, so we went down to 97 entrants, and among those the British walker Callum Wilkinson ultimately was not on the start line. The leaders are stretching the advantage. It's 12 seconds now, the lead, as Paul and Kaiwa of China test the rest of the chasing group. So 2 non-starters, 2 disqualifications early on. Ryzowski of Poland is on 2 red cards, way back down the field, listed in 75th place at the moment. Leakovic of Belarus also on 2 red cards. Four completed laps. The 10. Team scores so far, and with Kaiwa sitting in second place at the moment, and the Chinese, 2 further Chinese performers behind. Well, they're on course for another gold medal in the team event as things stand. Medal table stands like this. 10 medals now for China, ahead of Japan 6, Mexico with 2. Both of those are gold, after some great performances in the last 24 hours. Ecuador have 3, all silvers. And the likes of Poland, Spain, Turkey, Guatemala and Australia all on the list as well, alongside the Italians, who have a silver to their name, as we see the Italian Stano in the front of the chasing pack. Now, what will the Japanese be making of this? 4 of them are in the chasing pack at the moment, and are they content to stay there? Very much billed as the team to beat coming into this 20K. They have the world leader, of course, in Takahashi. The leading Japanese athlete through 8 kilometers was Matsunaga in 6th. Takahashi down alongside Dane Bird-Smith, the Commonwealth champion, in 13th place at the moment in the chasing pack. Refreshments taken on by the German leader. Some nutrition, some fluid as well. Cooling off as the rain drives down now here in Taicang. Confirmation of Marek Adamovich and his disqualification, the Canadian, 4 red cards in the early stages, and his day is over. 9 kilometers in 36 minutes 44, and it's Germany from China in this final race of the weekend at these IAAF World Race Walking Team Championships for 2018. Paul from Kaiwa. Thirsty work, despite the fact that the rain is falling steadily on them. Paul was 18th in the last Olympics over 20k, and also took part in the 50 kilometers, as we see Sim there, the earlier disqualification. He didn't finish the 50 kilometers. He's been disqualified in one race already this year in Erfurt, and was 3rd in the German championships over 20 kilometers this year. Christopher Linker of Germany is the German champion. Nils Brembach is also in the field. Linker down in 34th place at the moment. Averaging 4:08 though, he's just starting to, or 4:10 in fact, but he's just done 4:08 for his last kilometre, so he's starting to show some signs amongst his group of moving up a little. But the last kilometre you can see for the leader in 4:03, just ahead of the average. On the subject of the Germans, Brembach appears to be well back down the field. I mentioned Linker was in 34th position. Still that front pair, Paul and Kaiwa. Further behind them, listed in 3rd and 4th at the moment, but part of a chasing pack, are 2 further Chinese walkers. Jin Changquan and Gao Yingchao. Zain, Chai Zain, who was 2nd in this event 2 years ago. Now, are the Japanese just starting to make a move? You can see them moving ominously through the field. The big favourites coming into this race. There are 4 of them in that chasing pack. halfway point. 5 laps to go in the men's 20-kilometer walk. And it's the German, Paul, who continues to lead. But are the Japanese just starting to make a move with the likes of Takahashi in that chasing pack? At 9 kilometers, it was 13 seconds back to the chasers. And further back, I can tell you that the Commonwealth champion, Bird Smith, is out. He's just gone down. He crossed the start and finish point. Well, is his race over? That drama is going on back at the start line. It appears he may have picked up an injury, possibly it could be cramp. Said he is, wants to maybe continue. He's being offered assistance. Tell you more about that as it unfolds, as we continue to see the leaders. But the Commonwealth Champions' day appears to be over further back in the field. He was amongst the chasing pack. That chasing pack who is now going round this loop and turn. But noticeably absent, Bird Smith. Although it appears he may still be trying to continue. In fact, he has withdrawn, it looks like, but Paul continues to lead for Germany. I mentioned the gap, and it has indeed closed. It's now a 10-second advantage over the chasers, and most interestingly, the last split on the last kilometre, the two leaders, Paul and Kaiwa, as we see a pit lane entry for Vikas Singh of India. The last split for Paul and Kaiwa, 4:04, but the chasers have picked it up. 4 minutes flat for Fujisawa of Japan. The Chinese athlete, Jingjian, in 4:01. So that's what closed the gap from a 13-second lead to now only 10 seconds. The chasing pack, including a heavy contingent of Japanese walkers and Chinese walkers on home soil. And of course, Kaiwa has been sitting on the shoulder of Paul all the way. Fabien Bernabe of France has ended his day as well. So we've lost Bird Smith, the Frenchman there. Quite a lot going on in a race which started with 97 entrants from 39 countries. Takahashi, Fujisawa, the Japanese limbering up. Takahashi, the best in the world in 2018. Yamanishi also there from Japan. But it's been a story of a German lead so far. But never losing sight of the Chinese threat from behind. I talked about the world leader, Takahashi. The question often for him has been, the gap is back to 13 seconds, although I think it's less than that now. More like the 10 seconds that our computer systems are telling us. But Takahashi's questions, the Japanese world leader, is about peaking at the right moment for the big events, performing on the world stage on the biggest day. 12th in 2016, for example. 7th in the Asian Games. 42nd in the Olympics over 20 kilometres in 2016. 14th in the World Championships in London last year. So he hasn't always been able to produce the goods when it matters. Will that change today? The Japanese chasers have the leaders in their sights, and for the first time in some considerable time, the lead has changed. Although no sooner has Kaiwa gone in front, he's received a warning from one of the judges for loss of contact. Pole slipping into second. The advantage now only 8 seconds. It's changing all the time. The chasers are starting to chew up that difference. And there they are, 1, 2, 3, 4 Japanese performers, along with the Italian Stano. The Italian champion in that chasing group. Koki Ikeda of Japan is also there, 4th in the Japanese championships this year. Confirmation of the cards, Singh is in the pit lane, and 4 further athletes in jeopardy at the moment. A couple of disqualifications as well, and as I've mentioned, a big withdrawal. Dane Bird-Smith, who was 6th last year in the World Championships and is the new Commonwealth Games champion, suffering an injury, possibly cramp, and pulling out of the race. So suddenly now, Pole, having been the front runner in this race, is just been overhauled by the man who sat on his shoulder. And Kaiwa, the standalone leader, and this is the group really to watch, and it includes Stano, the world leader Takahashi, and 3 other Japanese performers in there. They are all menacingly moving up and closing the gap all the time. Again, the splits in that chasing pack much quicker by some 3 to 4 seconds on the leaders. But that is the leader from the home nation, Wong Kaiwa, the 24-year-old. Cap firmly fixed backwards on his head, eyes fixed forward with the odd glance. If there's any advice from the coaches, and indeed onto video screens as well. One giant screen positioned on each side. Four laps to go. They're through 12 kilometers, and there's been a change in the lead and a change to the complexion of this race. Kaiwa of China now alone at the front. Pole, the German, has seen the chasing pack rapidly move through the field and move up onto his shoulders. In the next few minutes, they'll be right on him as they go past the museum here in Taicang. And the leader now stretches out and has an advantage of 5 seconds. Pole will rejoin the chasers, having been for so long the leader. A front pair, but then the Chinese walker made his move on the last lap, and Pole has been unable to keep pace. Kaiwa, 4 minutes and 2 seconds for his last kilometre, averaging 4:04 for the race as a whole. 12 kilometres down, 8 more to go in this finale to the World Racewalking Team Championships here in China. What will be the tactics of this group? The Japanese strongly fancy to do well. Takahashi, the world leader. Ikeda there. Sure to be a bit of teamwork amongst this group. Yamanashi behind them, wearing the glasses. Tom Bosworth of Great Britain is grimacing hard in that chasing group, trying to keep pace. Stano of Italy is there. Pol, having joined the chasers, I think is struggling to keep pace with them now. But also Kaiwa's advantage feels a pretty slim one at the moment, the leader. Crowd urging them on. There's the group, Stano. Pol and Bosworth hanging on at the back. Haven't mentioned Ida Arevalo, the 2017 world champion, but he's in there and he's been content to sit right in the middle of that chasing pack, keep himself almost off the radar. We look at Ikeda, 4:02 for his last kilometre. And they're an illustration of how things are changing and how that gap is closing. And two Japanese walkers are now pushing away from the chasing pack, and they are getting ever closer, step by step, to the leader, Kaiwa of China. Eating up the gap, putting the pressure on. The pre-event favourites were Japan. There they are. Takahashi and Ikeda have been the two to make the break. Japanese title holder and 1:17.26, a personal best from Takahashi earlier this year in Kobe, Japan. And now they are a chasing group of two. 4:02 for his last kilometre, through 13 kilometres now in this 20k race walk for men. 7 to go. Takahashi taking in some deeper breaths and driving forward, bringing Ikeda from Japan with him as well. The chasing pack has Stano there. Also, Arevalo is not letting them go. The world champion who's talked so much about how his life has changed. The race over for vest number 168 being worn by Eric Morondo of Guatemala. And now they're right up on Kaiwa. So the Japanese have timed things. To make their move in the final third of the race. Takahashi and Ikeda, second and third. It's China in the lead from Japan. And Arevalo is now starting to move to the front of the effective chasing pack as Takahashi goes into the lead. So the world leader out in front now in Taicang. Japan 1, China 2, Japan 3, and the world champion from 2017 from Colombia, Arevalo, is in fourth. This is shaping up into a really good race now. The rain easing, but the puddles large. They'll lap the athlete from Chinese Taipei, Lo. A leading group made up of two Japanese walkers and an individual from China. But the chasing group coming close to them as well. There's only 3 seconds in it now between the front three and this group, which includes the world champion, and you can just sense that Ida Arevalo is making his own move. He's talked so much about how his life has changed since becoming a world champion in London. So far this year actually came second in the Colombian 20,000. As we lose one of the Italians. Marco De Luca, third in the 50k 2 years ago. His day is over. Tom Bosworth is going to the pits. The British Hope has received a third red card, as has Campion of France. So 2 athletes now to occupy the pits, joined as well by Borondo of Guatemala. So Bosworth's hopes dashed, although he's still in that group, number 163, but he's received a third red card, and so the pit lane awaits him. And here comes Pierce O'Callaghan. There he is, the chief judge, pointing to Bosworth that he has to go into the pit lane, and he goes in there now as Takahashi leads at the front. Eight judges, remember, from 8 nations around this circuit. And then the Irishman, Pierce O'Callaghan, is the chief judge across this weekend. "14 kilometres completed in 57 minutes dead. There's 3 laps to go, and it's wide open at the moment in this 20k finale at the World Race Walking Team Championships. The story of the last lap, how the Chinese lead was eroded, and how the Japanese world leader forced his way to the front. Very strong team showing as well from the Japanese. Look out for Aravalho, he's in the background, the Colombian, fighting hard to stay with them. Bosworth, remember, is in the pits now. Stano of Italy is up there. Only one other Chinese runner, Walker, now in that group. And that is Jiang Qin. Bosworth eagerly waiting to get out of the pit lane, but this 2-minute penalty, of course, has cost him dear. And look at this now at the front, the 3 Japanese walkers right on the shoulders of Kaiwa, the long-time leader in the last few minutes. Paul, remember, who set the pace early on, the German, has dropped down to 9th. And it's taking shape in the way that many of the previews expected, with Takahashi, the world leader in 2018, now taking the lead. And it looks like the world champion from 2017, Aravalho, the Colombian, is starting to drop away. He's lost touch with the chasing group, which is those 3 now. Including Jin Jiangchen of China. Great support from the crowd. Stano of Italy still in there. And Fujisawa of Japan, the 4th Japanese walker in the top 6 at the moment. Jin Jiangchen supporting his fellow countryman Kaiwa, who is surrounded at the moment by 3 Japanese vests. An hour gone. The final 20 minutes or so awaiting these race walkers. Paddle warning for Takahashi. Warning him to maintain contact. Ikeda momentarily takes the lead, but as they head for the drink station, the order likely to change. 3 Japanese walkers get their drinks, have a swig, hurl them into the air, and then battle recommences with Kaiwa of China. The Field effectively down to 7 front walkers now, with 4 in the leading group. Seven completed laps, remember, of the 10. And 5 kilometers to go. That's the final quarter of the race as we look at one of the Chinese in the chasing group. Yang Qian alongside the other Japanese walker, Isamu Fujisawa. But 3 Japanese walkers up at the front at the moment, although the chasers getting close. Business end of this race, the final race of these World Race Walking Team Championships in 2018, and it's shaping up to be a real cracker here. You can see the motorbikes fixed on the leading pack and the chasers. Well, those bikes now virtually right next to each other because the chasers are closing the gap all the time. But Arvalho, the world champion from London, has dropped away. It's a front 4. Look of surprise from Takahashi as he got that yellow warning from the judge in the last lap. And Takahashi is now on 2 red cards, so he is in peril. And 1 more red, and he will be forced into the pit lane, where he'll spend 2 minutes. And he'll lose pace, of course, considerably, drop away from the leading group. So that's going to be interesting. How does that change the mind games here? Stano, the Italian, has now picked up. The chasers have joined the leaders. Jiang Qian of China also up there. Yamanishi, Ikeda, Takahashi, Fujisawa, all the Japanese are in there. 2 Chinese walkers grabbing some refreshments. Kaiwa and Ikeda, the leading pair. So the front 4 swelling to 7. About 13 minutes or so of this drama to follow. There, a look at the performance of Kaiwa. And now it's an Italian in Stano who strides to the front. The Italian champion. 2015 for his last 5 kilometers from 10 to 15. It was a brief lead. Here come Japan again. It's ebbing and flowing at the moment. Takahashi on the 2 red cards, though, has dropped off a little, as has Kaiwa. And Yamanishi has struck for the front. Four kilometers to go. 2 laps remaining. Former world youth champion Yamanishi leads the way for Japan. Behind him, in what is a Japanese 1-2, is Ikeda. Kaiwa, who for a long time in this race was up the front, is in 3rd place. But is Takahashi, the world leader, starting to fade on 2 red cards? right behind the white-vested Stano at the moment of Italy. And maybe this is a decisive break we're seeing now. Heading over to the refreshment tables. Yamanishi in front, Ikeda second, Kaiwa in third. Stano and Takahashi behind as a yellow paddle. Another warning for Takahashi. Is his day unraveling, the world leader? He's already on 2 red cards. He's just had a yellow paddle warning. Nothing to choose between this front 3 at the moment. Kaiwa responding to the Japanese burst. Stano actually did the quickest last kilometre in 4 minutes flat. The leaders went through in 4:04 for their last kilometre. But Stano is now in the chasing group there, number 186, alongside Takahashi. 3 up front, the crowd roaring them on. Judges watching very carefully. Yamanishi, Ikeda in the centre. Kaiwa of China in the red vest with the home nation's hopes appearing to be on his shoulders at the moment in the individual event at least. Japan now have an iron grip on both the team gold and on many of the podium places as things stand. Takahashi trying to battle to get back in things, trying to get his technique perfected, get back and focused after 2 red cards. Stano keeping pace with him, but Yamanishi, Ikeda and Kaiwa are the front 3 here in Taicang. Carvalho, the world champion, has dropped down to 8th. Paul, the long-time leader in the early stages, is in 10th. Alvaro Martin of Spain back in 11th, picking up some of the positions further back down through the pack. Slightly slower last 5 kilometres from 10 to 15. We went through 5 kilometres in 20 minutes and 30 seconds. Carvalho of Portugal looks to his side and sees the front walkers making their way past him. Takahashi a distant 4th at the moment, with Stano in 5th. Yamanishi now on 2 red cards. One more for him and he will go into the pits. '20-year-old Koki Ikeda, 4th in the Japanese championships, but a winner in Lugano this year, alongside Kaiwa, a long-time front runner in this race. Yamanishi's just dropped off slightly, and Stano losing ground. Is this a return into the race at the business end from Takahashi, the world leader, 12th in this event 2 years ago, but the Japanese champion this year. And Ikeda and Kaiwa showing signs potentially of breaking away here. Yamanishi still listed with 2 reds. Saw him making a gesture just a moment or so ago. In fact, Takahashi now has just been given a 3rd red card, so he's going to be heading to the pits. And the world leader suffers the big blow. He will be taken to the pitch. 3 red cards for Eiki Takahashi. And once again, on the big stage, in the big race, he hasn't been able to produce his best. So, one major player in the Japanese assaults on this 20k race is to go into the pitch and suffer a 2-minute time penalty. It's Ikeda and Kaiwa now, who have moved away from Yamanishi, who, remember, had taken them through the last lap in the lead. 4:02 for the last kilometre for Koki Ikeda of Japan. The sun just threatening to break through the clouds here. The rain has stopped. Still a warm morning. The temperature rising in every respect now. 4:02 for Kaiwa's last kilometre. Winner in the Chinese National Games last year, over 20 kilometres from the Guangdong province. He won the Huangshan 20k as well this year, so he's in good form. Coached by Sandro Damilano. Shortly, Takahashi will go into the pit lane. Yamanishi there in third. You can see the chief judge. He's poised in the distance. He's ready to strike. He won't be for either of these two, though. It'll be for Takahashi. Japan in possession of the team gold, ahead of Italy, Ecuador and Spain. The chief judge ready to move in the background on Takahashi. The bell about to ring. The bell sounds. They're into the last lap in the men's 20-kilometre race. And it's Japan against China it's shaping up to be, with a second Japanese walker in a distant third place at the moment, but on home soil with the support of the home crowd. Can Kaiwa of China hold off the attentions of 20-year-old Koki Ikeda of Japan in this last 2 kilometres? They went through 18 kilometres in 1:13:21 in a split of 4:05 for the last kilometre. They're on pace for among the quickest times of the year in 2018. Takahashi, the world leader, remember, is now in the pits and dropping down the rankings rapidly. Fujisawa of Japan, who was in the chasing pack for so long, has dropped away. Stano of Italy was 4th at the bell. Takahashi serving his time penalty. There's Yamanishi. He's in 3rd place at the moment, but he's dropped to 7 seconds back. He has an 8-second lead then over Stano in 4th. There is Stano, just going round the loop. Yamanishi in 3rd, Stano in 4th. Japan and Italy. But here are the front pair. Neither of them has picked up even 1 red card so far. Wong Kaiwa of China being urged on. Ikeda staying on his shoulder all the way. These the 2 leaders, these the 2 vying for gold. Can Kaiwa, who has been in the front for virtually the entire race, can he hold on? It's about these two for gold and silver now, you sense, with Yamanishi trailing in third, some 7 seconds behind. Ikeda takes a look across to Kaiwa. We're on the last lap in this 20k race, the final race of a thrilling weekend in Taicang. Ikeda has a look, the youngster, only 20 years of age. They'll both try and get some refreshment here. Kaiwa has the edge in terms of experience, 4 years the senior of Ikeda. Make their way past some of the back markers. Charging down the Shanghai Road, the climax of this World Race Walking Championships. Ikeda and Kaiwa, with that man Yamanishi in third. A final kilometre now. Takahashi, remember, has served the pit lane time penalty. But still, two Japanese in the front three. Kang Qian of China is back in sixth. Stano in fourth. Ikeda now just making a little move, the 20-year-old. And it just for a moment looked like Kaiwa was struggling, maybe a stitch. Yamanishi back in third. You sense he has his eyes now firmly on the bronze medal. The leader, the last kilometre in 4 minutes, he stepped up the pace and he's driving forward, and Kaiwa is struggling to keep pace with him, you sense. A grimace on the face, and the young man from Japan, Ikeda, trying to break him in this last lap, the closing stages. They'll come round this loop now. Round that wide bend. And Ikeda is trying to move away, and he's succeeding in moving away. Look at him drive. Kaiwa is struggling badly now. And Japan marching on to what will be a gold medal success here in the final race. Ikeda has really accelerated away, and Kaiwa is simply broken by this performance from the 20-year-old. An awesome sprint finish. Is there anything this man has got left? I don't think he has. He's walked a superb race, but he's toiling now. And Ikeda of Japan, almost a half smile on the face, looking over his shoulder. He can see that he's opened up a big lead very late. They're poised at the finish line. The tape is up. The cameras are ready. The photographers lining the road on the Shanghai Road here in Taicang. The Chinese athlete, Kaiwa, a brave race. Second place for him looks like it will be secured. Yamanishi of Japan is in third. But here's the leader, Ikeda of Japan. Another look over the shoulder, and the 20-year-old knows he's in sights of gold. Stano has moved into the bronze medal position. He's gone past Yamanishi, who's labouring behind him. So Italy in possession of bronze. We were warned this race could be the strong representation of the Japanese. He goes past the posting board. He looks behind him and he can see and he can know that he's about to be a world race walking team champion. The finishing line ahead of him. Ikeda takes the gold for Japan. 1:21.13. Victory for the 20-year-old in China. The home nation have a silver medal. Taiwan will come in. Italy will get the bronze. But what a fantastic performance and what a brilliant last kilometre from Ikeda to claim the victory. 9 seconds in the end ahead of the athletes with the silver medal. Stano 20 seconds back of Italy with third. He'll be on the podium as well. The team rankings will make interesting reading as well. Yamanishi will come in fourth. He's now crossed the line in 1:21.53. So that's 5 points for Japan. And that will be a team gold for them as well. So double success as Wang Taiwan of China celebrates his silver. Real drama. There's the bronze medalist Stano of Italy. Thumbs up from him. 1:21.33, his finishing time. The Italian will be on the podium alongside that man from China. Zhang Jian of China is also in now. Fujisawa joining the finishers. Remember, the first 3 finishers score for the team, so Japan first and fourth and seventh. So 12 points for them. China with second and sixth on 8 points, but they have not got a third finisher yet. And they will not be able to do enough to overhaul the Japanese. Bosworth finishes of Great Britain there. He spent time in the pit lane, of course. There's Takahashi, he was also in the pit. And that ended the world leader's hopes as he comes in. Inside the top 20 still, but in 18th place. Bosworth of Great Britain was 14th. Remember, very early in the race, we lost Dane Bird-Smith, the Commonwealth champion, to what appeared to be an injury or cramp. Bermudez next to finish. Remember, a huge field, 97 of them in total, so plenty still to get through here. Quite a collection of red cards, but 2 key ones really. Bosworth of Great Britain, who finished 2 minutes 40 behind the winner, and critically Takahashi, late on in the race, received a third red card as well. "28 of the 93 or 4 or so that will finish are in. The last of those, Zimmerman of Brazil, a season's best mark for him. Superb finish from Ikeda. There's Matsunaga, another Japanese walker coming in. Some 5 minutes after the winner and his fellow countryman. Ikeda's gold medal. Over 90 of this field will finish. The bell still sounding for some who have some way to go.
But still, I think
Risch of the United States, Jordan Cody Risch, the latest to cross the line and complete his race. .65 walkers are in now. Cowley of Australia. I mentioned the American, it was Corvera who actually finished back in 43rd place. But a large proportion of the field are now in. At the conclusion of this event, it's been a great couple of days, putting race walking absolutely up there on a pedestal and saluting the heroes and the fortitude of these performers, pushing themselves to the limits. In the spotlight. Like they are on no other weekend of the year in many ways. You can see how hard they push themselves. The effort, the determination and the focus. 90 minutes after setting off, they finish, and for many of them, they fall. Two Australians, Adam Garganis Brendan Redding finishing just a few seconds apart. And the race is done. Huge field at the start of this race, remember. Seven of them, I think that's 68 are now across the line. Vikas Singh of India, the latest to come through. And there we are on the line there, just taking everything to get across. It was Liang, the Canadian, collapsing as he reached the finish. And there's Liesting of the Netherlands. That's a great tribute to the local organising committee, the volunteers, the officials, all of whom have helped put on this successful event and who are right on hand to support these performers. They show the pain, the agony of what is a grueling event. Still, they come in. '97 set off, 2 non-starters in the field, 39 countries were represented. Ashimbi of South Africa next in line. Two red cards for him along the way, but he's avoided the pit lane. Come in just over the 1 hour and 35-minute mark. Some 14 minutes or so after the winner. And he's there. Chin of Hong Kong, China. Interesting style with those feet out to in. There's a Kazakhstan athlete and a Turk still out there. Further back down the course, Po Ying Lo of Chinese Taipei. There's Zabuchenko as well from Ukraine. 78th position for him at the moment. Very much walking their own races now. They'll have their own measure of success and failure, their own targets to meet on the day. They may be well behind the ultimate winners. These are personal duels and contests that they take on. Edward Zabuzhenko of Ukraine. And he's in. Well done. Well done. Lo of Chinese Taipei with the end in sight. The 79th Walker approaching the finishing line. Piers O'Callaghan of Ireland, the chief judge there, just in the foreground. He's run a very tight ship this weekend. A great job, the judges. Glances over his shoulder to see another one of the walkers just approaching him. For Lo, the finish so close now, the last few meters, and his own personal journey complete on this occasion. Chance for those weary legs to have a rest. Refuses the offer of a chair. He's going to walk his way right through. What a show of strength from all of these walkers, wherever they finished in the field. What they pushed themselves through, it's something to behold. They are to be so admired. He even has time to bow. Terrific effort. Meanwhile, the podium awaits the medalists for both individual and team from the two races we've had this morning at the conclusion of these World Race Walking Team Championships. Podium poised. The event presentation making their final preparations. So we await the medal presentations at the conclusion of this 2 days of competition in Taicang. And there is Qin, still out there on the course. One of the last back markers. 79 of the 97. We've completed the course. A round of applause for Qin, who comes in 80th. And with that, they're in. 80 of the 97 completed the 20k. Medal ceremony time now for the 10k race walk for women, the first race of day 2. Rain dying away. Had a heavy shower in that last race, but it's eased off now.
20 women and 20k men will be starting soon.
Advice there that the medal ceremonies are on their way to conclude our proceedings here in Taicang. First of the medal ceremonies will be the 10k race walk for women, which was taken by China as a team award.
接下来颁奖仪式将进行的是女子20岁以下10公里个人颁奖仪式。 为运动员颁奖的嘉宾是国际田联理事会理事阿迪奥·苏马里瓦先生。
Bronze medalist representing Japan.
铜牌获得者来自日本藤井奈子。
Nanako Fuji held on for the bronze with quite a margin of 22 seconds in the end over the Chinese Walker in fourth, but at one stage she was going for gold, just the pace pushed her a little too far, but she's on the podium and smiling with a bronze medal and a personal best of 45.29.
Silver medalist representing Ecuador.
银牌获得者来自厄瓜多尔格林达莫尔球。
And Mohan of Ecuador must have thought the gold could be hers at one stage. But she is the proud recipient for Ecuador of another medal, and in this case it's silver. 45.13 for Glenda Mohan.
Gold medalist representing Mexico.
金牌获得者女子 U20 10公里冠军来自墨西哥阿莱格纳冈萨雷斯。
Elena Gonzalez, though, what a performance. Another Mexican gold in Taicang. A storming finish, a sprint for the line. 45 minutes and 8 seconds means gold for Gonzalez.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Mexico.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏墨西哥国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge the medalists.
女士们、先生们，让我再次向
Gold for Gonzalez of Mexico.
祝贺。
Silver, Ecuador's Mohan. Fuji of Japan with the bronze. The three individual medalists at these World Race Walking Team Championships. They'll leave the podium. But Mohan will be back shortly because Ecuador will be the recipients of the silver medal in the team standings. So they're each holding the mascots based on images of fish and rice mixed with elements of water waves and sportswear. $30,000 goes to the winners, 15,000 for second, 10,000 for third. We saw one world record bonus this weekend in the women's 50K, $50,000. The curtain soon to come down on this 28th edition of the World Race Walking Team Championships, first staged as the Lugano Cup in Switzerland back in 1961. But my, how this event has grown on the world stage and in terms of the competing nations and numbers. Remember, it was 24 in the first event. Progressively, it's got bigger. The big change, really, New York in 1987, where 160 more competitors took part than in 1985, when the event was on the Isle of Man in Great Britain. And from that point, we've had over 300 competitors at all bar 2 events. Now the team standings and the podium places to be officially announced.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for 10 kilometers race walk women's under 20 team.
女士们、先生们，下面进行女子2岁以下青年组团体10公里颁奖仪式。
So, the Turks, Bekmez, Tekdal and Dost, the top 2 contribute the points. 15 for Turkey, bronze medals.
Silver medalist, Ecuador.
Morhon's silver, replicated with a team silver as well. She's joined by Paula Melena Torres, who finished 11th, 13 points. Second place for Ecuador.
Gold medalist and World Race Walking Team Champions, China.
Big cheer for the host nation. Another gold for China in the team event. Li Wenju, Ma Li, Yang Weiwei. 10 points. 4th and 6th through Wenchu and Li. And they're the Golden Girls on this second morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏中华人民共和国国歌。
All the medalists together on the top of the podium. Gold for China, silver Ecuador, bronze for Turkey. The women's under 20 10K medalists. Next up will be the race walk for men, the 20 kilometers medal ceremony to bring events to a conclusion in Taicang. Formalities in the pitches just being concluded. The women's 10K. Medals and mascots in hand. All smiles from Morhon there. She'll be going back to Ecuador with 2 silvers. Here are the individual medalists.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal ceremony for 20 kilometers race walk man.
各位首先生，下面进行男子20公里竞走决赛个人颁奖仪式。
The great Jefferson Perez
The medals
to present the medals.
by Jefferson Perez, world champion and former world record holder of 20 kilometers.
为运动员颁奖的嘉宾是90年代统治10年的竞走传奇名将杰斐逊·洛佩兹。
Bronze medalist representing Italy.
铜牌获得者来自意大利马西莫·斯坦诺。
Massimo Sano hung on in there, and he clawed in Yamanishi of Japan to earn a bronze medal for Italy. The Italian champion recognised on the global stage here in Taicang with 3rd place, 1 hour, 21 minutes and 33 seconds.
Silver medalist representing China.
银牌获得者来自中国王凯华。
For so much of the race, he looked like it could be gold, but Kaiwa, in the end, settles for silver. A tremendous silver, though. A great race, just edged out in a dramatic final lap.
Gold medalist representing Japan.
金牌获得者来自日本池田向希。
But Koki Ikeda of Japan takes gold. A storming finish. The 20-year-old is the champion in Taicang. 1 hour, 21 minutes, 13 seconds on top of the podium, presented by Jefferson Perez. with his gold medal. The proudest moment of that young man's career. And now he'll see his flag raised and his anthem played for the crowd here in China.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge practice.
女士们、先生们，让再次向获奖评委们致敬并表示祝贺。
The three medalists on the podium then. Ikeda of Japan with gold. Kaiwa of China with the silver. Stano says, let's have our own picture. The bronze medalists from Italy. So the individual medalists depart. Some of them will be back. As Japan, Italy and China prepare to enter the stage as teams to receive the medals. A number of people as well are on hand to see the medal ceremonies. And this will be the conclusion of this World Team Race Walking Championships, staged across 2 days for the second time here in Taicang, which has put on another great show for race walking enthusiasts everywhere. And here come the teams.
Ladies and gentlemen, medal ceremony for the 20th Longest Race Walk Men's Team.
女士们、先生们，男子团体20公里颁奖仪式现在开始。
The medals were presented by Wang Junxiang, Deputy General Manager of Taicang Lantin Corporation Limited.
为运动员颁奖嘉宾是中华蓝天副总裁王俊祥先生。
Bronze medalists, China.
They're on the podium again, the host nation. 12 medals in total. Bronze here in this team event. second with Kaiwa, sixth Jian Qian, and Wan Chao was 34th. .42 points their total score, and by 5 points clear of Ecuador. They are the bronze medalists.
Silver medalist, Italy.
The Italians had a bronze medalist in Stano in the individual event, and with Fortunato and Rubinho finishing inside the top 20, they secured 29 points to claim the silver medal. All smiles and waves to their supporters. But this was an emphatic victory. There they are, the full contingent of Japanese walkers in that race, led by Ikeda, the gold medalist. Yamanishi finished 4th, Fujisawa 7th, 12 points, gold medal for Japan. They do the double in the 20K for men.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Japan.
女士们、先生们，请全体肃立，奏日本国歌。
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your medalists.
Super performance from the Japanese, billed as the favourites going into that 20K race, and they bided their time, but then took gold emphatically through the 20-year-old Koki Ikeda. 12 points, gold medalists in the team events and standings as well. It's a photo I'll all cherish.
2018 IAAF World Race Walking Team Championships has come to an end. Thanks for every one of you who make it possible to yet another successful and splendid championships. Goodbye and best of luck.
So the event presentation bids farewell to the crowd and the teams here in Taicang 2018. The abiding image there of the Japanese celebrating on this day 2, but it's been a fantastic event for the host nation as well, China, who will finish top of the medal table. The result of the men's race walk over 20 kilometers, Ikeda of Japan with the gold medal, Kawa of China with silver, Stano of Italy with the bronze. Tom Bosworth of Great Britain saw his chances end with a pit lane visit. Campion of France also went in there. Some season's best marks from the Finn, Partanen and Corvera of the United States. A huge field. Virtually all of them who were on the start line came through in the end. Some of them in worse shape than others, showing great intestinal fortitude to battle their way to the finishing line. The last of them from Hong Kong, Jin. And a group there who failed to finish, including the Commonwealth champion, Dane Bird-Smith of Australia. And there were 2 non-starters. Team standings from that, as we've just seen. Japan with 12 points, taking gold. Italy second. China third with 42 points. India with 184 were 14th. So the medal table after day 2 of these World Racewalking Team Championships. The host nation, China, on the top. 12 medals ahead of Japan with 8. Mexico third, thanks to 2 great golds. Spain and Turkey also on the board. Thanks to everyone who's contributed to our coverage, our local host broadcast crew here in Taicang, who've brought us the pictures and the images of this tremendous event over the last couple of days. So from Tony Husband, it's goodbye or Zaitia from Taicang.